Welcome to the Liberating River, where spiritual freedom meets soul-aligned wealth. I'm Wanda. There's something I've been thinking about deeply lately. A lot of people believe they have money problems. But when you really sit with people long enough, when you listen beneath those numbers, beneath the debt, beneath the spending habits, beneath the avoidance, what you often discover is that they don't only have money issues. They have inherited emotional roles. And I don't think we talk about that enough because money does not exist in isolation. Money lives inside relationships. Money lives inside family systems. Money lives inside identity. Money lives inside survival. Guess what? Money lives inside fear. It lives inside of shame. It lives inside silence. And for many people, the financial patterns they're trying to break did not start with them. They inherited environments. They inherited beliefs. They inherited emotional survival strategies. They inherited unspoken rules. And one thing I need everybody to understand is this: families teach money long before anybody formally explains money. I'm going to keep saying that. Children absorb financial energy before they understand financial language. They notice stress. I notice stress. I notice tension. Children notice fear. They notice why? In the arguments, in the silence. Who sacrificed what? Who controls what? They notice who gets blamed. They notice who carries everybody. They notice who avoids responsibility and who is praised for overworking. They notice who is shamed for needing help. Children absorb all of it. And what I additionally realize, that silent peace that they notice sticks with them the most. And I think sometimes people underestimate how deeply family systems shape financial identity. Some people were raised inside of environments where money was constantly tied to fear. I've talked about it. Don't waste. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. You've heard it before. Nothing comes easy. People always leave. You have to struggle. We have heard it. And when those messages repeat long enough, you know what happens. They stop sounding like opinions. They begin sounding like truth. That's why two people can earn the exact same salary and experience money completely differently. One person feels grounded. Another person feels unsafe. One person spends calmly. Another hoards out of fear. One person invests confidently. Another sabotages opportunities. Because finances are never just mathematics. Finances are emotional. And I think many people are unknowingly reenacting inherited family dynamics through money. Some people became the responsible one in childhood, and now they feel responsible for everybody financially. Some people became the fixer, and now they constantly rescue people at their own expense. Some people become the peacemaker, and now they avoid difficult financial conversations because conflict feels dangerous. Some people became the independent one, and you know where that's going. And now asking for support feels humiliating. Some people became the invisible one, and now they struggle to advocate for opportunities or recognition. These roles do not disappear automatically in adulthood. They evolve. They shape decisions. They shape relationships. They shape boundaries. They shape financial behaviors, and it infects every aspect of their life, not just financially. And I think one of the hardest realizations is understanding that sometimes what looks like generosity, hear me, is actually fear. Think about that. Why do I say that? Because some people overgive financially, not from overflow, but from emotional conditioning. They learned that love equals sacrifice. They learned that worthiness equals usefulness. They learned that being needed creates safety. So they overextend, overhelp, overcarry, overfunction. And you know what happens. Let me help you real quick. There's a difference between helping people and becoming responsible for every aspect of their lives. Even scripture talks about each person carrying their own load. That does not remove compassion. Please don't misunderstand. That has nothing to do with being compassionate. What it does is it restores responsibility and prevents exhaustion. Because you can become emotionally exhausted, mentally exhausted, and of course, financially exhausted. But, and unfortunately, because the family system normalizes overgiving, you, me, we don't recognize the depletion. We have begun to believe that burnout is responsibility. And I need people to hear this carefully. Listen to me carefully. You are not required to destroy yourself to prove love. I'm going to say that again. You are not required to destroy yourself to prove love. That includes financially. That includes emotionally. And that definitely includes energetically. Some of us are carrying entire family systems on our backs while secretly drowning. And because of that, they are labeled as the strong one, or even worse. Everybody expects them to be the strong one. That expectation can become extremely dangerous. Dangerous, especially for ambitious people, for those first generation wealth builders. Oh my goodness, for the people trying to break cycles. Why? Because one of the loneliest experiences is becoming aware of patterns your family normalized and wanting to do something different. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You begin noticing how fear shapes the decisions, how silence shaped communication. How do you communicate? Do you speak up or you just let people talk to you? You begin noticing how survival shaped identity. And sometimes that awareness creates internal conflict because you love your family, but loving people and recognizing unhealthy patterns are not opposites. I need you to sit on that one. Sit on that one. I'm going to say this again. Loving people and recognizing the unhealthy patterns are not opposites. That is so important. Why? Because we tend to feel guilty the moment we begin evolving. The moment we begin setting boundaries, we feel bad. The moment we stop financially rescuing everyone, people think we're being stingy, or we look at ourselves as if people are going to think we're being stingy and holding back. The moment we prioritize peace, we feel bad. The moment we believe we deserve more, we feel bad. And family systems can react strongly when we want to change. This happens because systems like predictability. It doesn't matter that we're talking about family in this instance. But as I said, there are family systems, inherited patterns. Patterns have a predictability about them. When one person evolves, the balance shifts. And sometimes people unconsciously pressure you to return to the old version of yourself that made them comfortable. Did you get that? When people see that you're evolving and you're changing, that you're trying to do something new, different, just to better yourself, sometimes the people who knew you the other way, they may, I'm going to say unconsciously, I'm not going to say they purposefully do it. I'm going to say they unconsciously make you feel uncomfortable because they are uncomfortable with the new version of you. Don't allow your movement, your transition, your evolving be affected by other people's comfortability. You have a right to evolve. You have a right to evolve from being the overgiver, from being the rescuer, from being the self-sacrificing one. You can evolve from that. The one always available, the emotionally responsible one. You can evolve from that. You can transition from that. And of course, let's not forget, you can definitely evolve from being the financially dependable one, the one who never says no. Now, I will say this. Now, I understand, life happens. I understand that. People need support. But there's also a difference between temporary support and learned helplessness. But eventually you have to ask yourself this, and this is what's going to help you decipher if that is your journey to assist or to take a step back. Ask yourself this: am I helping people or am I sustaining dysfunction? That's the hard question you must ask. Stay tuned. To be continued. Coming next week.